Hello friends, and welcome back to another speed build. Today I'm working on a fairy cottage, and we don't have fairies unfortunately, and they're not confirmed that they're coming. However, I was really inspired by fairies. I think probably due to the new Crystal Creations pack. It's just very whimsical and magical, and I decided I wanted to make a little fairy inspired build. So I'm making this cute little cottage in Henford on Bagley, and I actually used medium wall height, which I never do. But I thought it just looked good with the medium wall height, and I think it turned out really nicely. And I also curved the roof a little bit, and I think that just adds to the vibes, honestly. And we also have a little attic workspace, because this build is very small. This house is not big. It is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. I guess if you really wanted to, you could make the upstairs, the attic, into another bedroom instead of a workspace. However, you do have to use a ladder to get up there, so it's not the most convenient way to get to a bedroom. But yeah, I had a little inspo photo for this, and I feel like I kind of matched to the vibes of it. It wasn't even a real house, I don't think. It was probably a render or a realistic kind of drawing, but I liked the vibes, and so I tried to kind of create that with my own twist as much as possible. And here, I think we're about to start working on the floor plan. And it was a little hard for me, especially with where the door was, so I ended up moving the door over and adding a little bump out to make it look more intentional, because I thought it was so weird to have it just off center like that. But I think with adding the bump out, it really added something to the build and made it look more intentional. And I added this cute little butterfly stained window above it, because obviously this is medium wall height on the first floor and that door is for short wall height, so there was a lot of space above it. But I feel like that stained glass window really helped. I also never use this bed that I'm placing. You'll be able to see it better once I add lights to the build, but this bed is so cute and whimsical, and I definitely think a fairy would sleep in that bed for sure. And it took me a little bit to figure out the floor plan. I cut most of it out just because I end up putting it back to exactly what we have here. So I didn't see the point in adding extra time to the video. Just for me to put it back exactly how I had it. I wanted it to be a little bit more closed off in the build, instead of an open floor plan. However, the build is just too small for that, so I wasn't able to do that, but I still think it turned out nice. And I love that I was able to add the little stone in the kitchen and bathroom. I also never do that. So I feel like this build really lent itself to doing some things that I don't normally do. And that wallpaper I just placed in the bedroom. If you saw me doing every other, that's because in Cottage Living we got 2 variants of the same wallpaper, except the pattern is flipped. So if you do it every other panel, it looks a little bit cooler. But you could just use the one all over if you wanted to, but it just kind of adds a nice detail. So I used a lot of Cottage Living in this pack, a lot of Crystal Creations, Realm of Magic, and I think a little bit of Werewolves too. So mostly the occult packs, to be honest. I'm pretty sure this has a lot of packs though. But it's heavily Cottage Living for sure. And the upstairs is the attic is primarily Crystal Creations. And then there's a bunch of Realm of Magic. So those 3 packs, and you'll probably have most of the build. I probably just used one-off items from other packs. And I ended up doing the stucco that I had on the outside on 2 of the walls, and I think it ended up looking really good. And I broke up that green and paneling a little bit, and it just looks really cozy, I think. And I had this little bay window, and I wanted to put plants in it so badly, and I kind of did. It was hard for me. I couldn't really get it in the window, so it sits on the edge, and I know it's probably gonna look like it's off the edge a little bit at first, but don't worry. I do end up going in and adding some shelves to the edge of the window. That way it looks more intentional, like it kind of continues out, like it has a windowsill kind of. And that way the plants aren't like hanging off the edge, because I thought that was a little weird, but I loved the idea of having the plants in the window. And I sized the shelves down like twice, so it's not too sticking out too much. And I love the green cabinets I chose too from Cottage Living. I think it looked really nice, and I actually mix and matched with the Country Kitchen kit. So I used the Country Kitchen flooring, and also the appliances are Country Kitchen, and I think it worked really nicely. And then I wanted to use that couch right there, that small one from, I think it's from Paranormal, but the greenish teal was like not the same as the wallpaper, and it was bothering me, so I chose a different couch. I chose, I think, the Cottage Living couch. But I did use that Paranormal coffee table, and I think the coffee table looks really cute with like the painting on top of the table. I think it's really pretty. And so now I'm just cluttering up the fireplace ledge, or I guess it will be in a second. I was able to use a few things from Crystal Creations and Werewolves. That little terrarium with crystals in it I think is beautiful, and I know I'm going to use that literally all the time. And I also used from Werewolves this little, like, I'm not even sure what's in it, but the compact. And I thought it just matched so well. Like, you could pretend it's like little fairy plants or something, I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. So we're wrapping up the dining area now, and I actually think I used quite a bit of Paranormal here as well too. With all the clutter and the table chairs. So yeah, Paranormal, I used a lot of the like occult packs. Werewolves, Realm of Magic, apparently Paranormal, and obviously Crystal Creations, because again, I was really excited about this pack. I can't wait to play with the gameplay. I've dabbled a little bit now with the gameplay, and it's so fun, and I can't wait to like make jewelry and like wear it, and also like make custom engagement rings to propose with. I feel like that's gonna be so fun. I know I've heard people say like you could kind of use it like an heirloom, like this engagement ring that you made in Gen 1 to be passed down from generation to generation and be used as the engagement ring. And I think that idea is so cool. And now we're working on the bedroom, and I actually end up adding some crystals in here too, as well as the upstairs workspace, and you access that by that little ladder. There's a door that you might not be able to see. Oh, there it is. You can see it on the right. That leads to the ladder that goes to the workspace. This pack came with a lot of shelving units, like display your creations and crystals, and I know some people were kind of like, I don't know if they were disappointed, but maybe more so like wish there was other stuff too. But I actually like that we got more shelves, because I feel like we might be lacking in like display cases. And we also got, I actually placed one of them, a jewelry box, and I haven't tested this out, but I heard that you can actually like use it. Like you can put stuff in the jewelry box, and I'm assuming you could store your jewelry in it, and I think that's really cool. So we're working on the workspace now, and right now it's like light wood and a light green kind of theme, but I end up changing it later to like a dark purple with a light blue wallpaper, and I just liked that a little bit better, and it was a little different, so I just thought that was fun. I wanted to play with the new swatches from the set of furniture, because it came with like this nice blue, green, and purple swatch, as well as like wood tones, and I really wanted to play with at least one of those, so I do end up changing it to the purple. And you can see I had placed like all of the crystals and metals out there. If you didn't know, if you go onto the gallery, you can search for pretty much anything under the rooms category because people will upload all the crystals, the fish. I am so sorry if you just heard that. That was my dog. Fun fact, I'm actually having to re-record about half of this speed build because my dog was barking, and when I listened back, you could actually hear that in the recording, so I'm re-recording half of this speed build. So if I repeat myself from things I've already said, I am sorry. But here we are working on the exterior now, and I wanted this to be very overgrown. So I'm adding a lot of the debug vines from Discover University on the corners, and I used those little flowers that like kind of climb up, and also the little lattice fence from high school years. And I just thought it was really pretty, and it helped with some of the weird spaces where there were no windows too. So I just felt like it worked out. And I use a lot of debug in this build. Like the trees are debug. At least those big ones with the falling leaves. I forget what kind of tree that's called, but those are definitely debug. And I also use a lot of romantic garden for the flowers, for the landscaping. I also end up placing the wishing well, which is actually kind of fun. Like if you didn't know, you could like wish for life. Like if you're a ghost, you can wish for life, you can wish for like a girlfriend, and it'll like make you a sim and stuff, or you could wish for money. And then like, I'm pretty sure if it gets mad at you, you could like get struck by lightning. I might have made that up. But anyways, that's a fun functional item that I added to the lot. I'm probably gonna add it soon. Yep, there we go. And it actually comes in a pretty pink swatch too, and it's overgrown a little bit, so it kind of fits the vibes. But yeah, we're just kind of adding some more flowers around the place. This was definitely out of my comfort zone. I don't do a whole lot of like wildflower type of landscaping vibes, so this was very like out of my comfort zone and out of my little box that I do landscaping in. Like I do landscaping pretty much the same all the time. I tend to use the hydrangea bushes with sometimes the base game bushes and then the low-lying base game flowers. And that's pretty much it. Or I stick to like one, maybe two types of flowers, and that's it. So this was very out of my comfort zone. And as you can see, I also did a little gardening area. Part of the inspiration for that was because if you're playing with Crystal Creations, you're gonna probably need to, for the aspiration, or want to grow the crystal tree. So you want a space for that. And here are some screenshots of the build. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the speed build, and I will see you all next week. Alright, bye!